Three things today. The first is Ukraine and Russia's ongoing war against Ukraine. It's extremely important that we as Europe continue to fully support Ukraine in all ways, including, of course, militarily, also with air defense systems, with ammunition, with everything that they need to continue to oppose the Russian aggressor. What we have to be very wary of is any talk of a premature peace or a truce. Because at this point, a peace or a truce would come to the advantage of Russia. It would give them time to regroup so that they could continue the attacks against Ukraine in an even more brutal manner. We have to follow Ukraine's lead. If they see a way forward, that should be their prerogative. We follow Ukraine and we continue to support Ukraine full out until they win in this war against the Russian aggressor. That's point one. Point two, on energy. Europe has an incredible collective purchasing power. And regarding natural gas, I think it would be very important and it would be very useful to use that collective purchasing power to set a realistic cap on the price of natural gas in the European Union. Of course, we have to avoid any possibility of shortages of supply, but with that collective purchasing power, we could do that and we should do that. And the third point, we observe in the United States right now, there's the Inflation Reductionary Act, which is causing some tensions also across the Atlantic. I think it's very important that as Europeans, we continue to speak with our US partners and find a good way to move forward. As partners, we're completely united on Ukraine. We're completely united regarding our rule-based system that we want the world to maintain. It's a short-term difficulty that I'm certain can and must be overcome.
What would be the good response on IRA from the European Union? What would be the good response?
Well, a good response would be to look for exemptions that the U.S. currently has, say, for countries like Canada, that such exemptions could be also applied to the European Union.
On energy, do you think leaders can get to a place today where there will be an agreement on Monday?
We'll be speaking about energy today, and also on Monday, our energy ministers are meeting in Brussels. We'll see how far we get today, but certainly our ministers will be convening in just a few days.
Do you expect an agreement on the new sanctions package in the next few hours?
I think it's very important that we do come to an agreement on the sanctions package. This would be package number 9. Latvia has supported very strong sanctions from the outset, but also practically speaking, we have understood that it sometimes takes some member states time to agree to certain measures. We have to move forward. We have to continue upping the pressure on Russia as they continue upping the pressure on Ukraine.
Prime Minister, standing for the positions of Germany and
Russian influence there?
Sorry?
Is granting Bosnia EU candidate status a way of stopping the Russian influence there?
Well, certainly the European Union has interest, also a geopolitical interest in the Balkans. And therefore, the moves that we can and should make to look to increase our influence and our own market in the Western Balkans, I think this is mutual beneficial both to the Western Balkans and, of course, to the European Union as a whole.
Prime Minister, from the understanding on the
Irish
positions
Times, our readers have noticed that you have a slight Irish accent. Could you explain why that might be?
Your guess is as good as mine.
in your understanding on
About the
the
price
positions of
caps.
Germany
Do
and the
you believe
Netherlands?
that there is a chance that there will be an agreement on the price caps? Of course, we know that on Monday the ministers are going to meet to discuss this, but is there really a common voice on that? We know that the Ukraine war has united Europe in an unexpected way, we can say. But in terms of real solidarity, you mentioned the purchase power of the European Union, which is huge, which Prime Minister Morawiecki also mentioned yesterday, and that this purchase power is not really used in that extent that it could be used. But on the very important issue of price caps, is there any consensus here that is going to be agreed upon, and is there any chance that this is going to be a consensus that is going to really help Ukraine or tackle Russian influences in terms of the energy markets and their main weapon of